Welcome back, witches and wanderers, to the Morbid Witch Podcast, where we peel back the layers of myth, legend, and the strange. I'm your host, Kari, and tonight we travel deep into the misty woods of Clinton Falls, Indiana, where a lonely red bridge stretches across Little Walnut Creek. They say if you call out to Edna Collins, she might just answer. But before we cross over, a brief warning. This episode discusses the tragic death of a child. Listener discretion is advised. So light your candles, keep your windows closed, and listen closely. Edna Collins Bridge sits just outside Clinton Falls, Indiana. It's one of the state's many covered bridges, that old-fashioned style built in the early 1900s, with weathered wood and a peaked roof that made it look like something out of another time. Locals say it was built around 1922, one of 9 bridges that dotted Putnam County. It wasn't just a place for crossing. It was a meeting point, a landmark for travelers and lovers alike. Over time, the paint faded, the planks warped, but the bridge stood resilient, even as the world around it changed. But with every bridge comes a story, and with this one, that story belongs to a little girl named Edna Collins. The story goes that Edna Collins was a young girl who lived nearby in the early 1900s. She was sweet, adventurous, and loved to play near the creek where the bridge stood. Every day she'd bring her dog to the water's edge, splashing and laughing beneath the wooden beams of the bridge. Her parents, knowing she loved to swim, would sometimes drive down to pick her up, honking the car horn so she'd know it was time to go home. But one day, Edna didn't come home. The story differs depending on who tells it. Some say she slipped and drowned while swimming. Others claim she was caught in the current beneath the bridge. Either way, the small community was shaken. Her parents, heartbroken and unable to bear the loss, are said to have passed not long after. Some say from grief, and from that tragedy, a haunting was born. Locals claim that Edna's spirit still lingers at the bridge, still waiting for her parents to come pick her up. If you stop your car in the middle of the bridge, turn off the engine, and honk 3 times, just like our parents used to, you might hear her laughter, or feel a small hand press against your car window. Others report seeing a pale figure of a young girl standing in the shadows, dripping wet, her hair clinging to her face as she stares out from beneath the beams. Some visitors claim to hear a dog barking in the distance, even though no animals are near. The river's surface ripples, as if something unseen is just below. It's a story that has been told and retold for decades. Parents warning children, ghost hunters setting up cameras, teenagers daring each other to honk those 3 faithful times. And always the bridge stands, a wooden monument to sorrow and the persistence of love that never let go. Over the years, the Edna Collins Bridge has become a magnet for ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts. Teams have reported cold spots, malfunctioning electronics and EVPs, electronic voice phenomena, that seem to capture faint cries and giggles of a child. Some visitors describe orbs floating through the rafters, while others have caught the silhouette of a small figure darting across the road. There are also darker stories of people feeling tugged, as if by unseen hands, when standing too close to the edge. Drivers say the cars have mysteriously stalled on the bridge after honking, only to restart moments later when the temperature suddenly rises. A few have even claimed to have seen wet footprints appear, leading from the creek across the planks and vanishing into the center of the bridge. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the atmosphere at Edna Collins Bridge has a way of changing the air around you. It's quiet, but not peaceful. Still, but not empty. And perhaps that's the essence of all hauntings. A place caught between worlds, where grief and innocence remain entangled. Like many ghost stories, the tale of Edna Collins may have roots deeper than the legend suggests. Indiana's covered bridges have long been romanticized, seen as thresholds between the living and the dead, passageways of memory and spirit. The idea of a child's ghost, pure, lost, seeking her parents, touches something universal. It's grief given form, love that refuses to fade. Some researchers believe that Edna Collins might not have existed at all, that her story was woven together from local tragedies and folklore patterns found across rural America. The Crybaby Bridge motif appears in dozens of states, each with its own name, its own ghostly child by the water. But even if Edna is a story, that doesn't mean she isn't real. At least, not in the way that the stories live. Each person who visits the bridge adds their fear, their empathy, their energy, and together they keep the legend alive. And sometimes, that's enough to make something stir in the dark. Whether you believe in restless spirits or restless imaginations, the Edna Collins Bridge remains a place of beauty, sorrow, and mystery, where echoes of laughter still dance across the water. Thank you for joining me tonight on the Morbid Witch Podcast. If you enjoy wandering into the strange and the haunted, follow the Morbid Witch Podcast on Spotify, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram for more stories from the shadows. Until next time, stay strange, stay spooky, and remember, the shadows are always watching.